Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special episode of the show. No, this is not the Cinescape podcast, but we're changing the landscape of movie and TV news and reviews. Today is the Cinescape Media Coronavirus crossover episode. I am Sean Harrigan, joined as always by Bill Rowdy Roddy Tazzy.
Woo!
We're by Suburban Paranormal host Dex Burgess.
You.
And Mixtape Radio host Mike Shea.
We're recording this through my computer, so my audio sounds the best.
Certainly does, sir. Today's show is going to be a collaboration between the various hosts on the Cinescape Media Network. Basically, what we're going to be doing today is discussing the COVID-19 epidemic, the coronavirus. We're going to let you know how it's impacting our individual shows, field some topics that we discuss on our shows, and how it's affecting our own personal lives. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Mike Shea of the Mixtape Radio podcast. Mike, what's going on, brother?
Not much. I'm drinking Mountain Dew and vodka and sitting around in my pajamas because that's the world we live in now. And
are pajamas considered pajamas anymore when they're steady wear since everybody's confined in their homes?
I think
jeans are now going to be dress wear.
Jeez. I put those away for the winter.
Did they ever come out?
Couple times.
So, with everything, we've got three very different shows being focused here today between Cinescape and Mixtape Radio and Suburban Paranormal. And we all have our own ways of doing things, our own processes, whatever, when it comes to our shows. So I guess I want to go around the table and ask everybody. We can start with Dex. How has this been affecting your recording schedule?
It actually hasn't really affected me much in recording wise. I've been able to keep up with the steady every other week. I've actually had more time to even focus on, I'm redoing the studio / office, or Stoffis as my oldest one likes to call it. We're cleaning everything out. This entire house has been completely redone, but other than not being able to do video the past 2 episodes, I've been able to do audio. I've noticed I've gotten a little uptick in some interaction with people because everybody's staying home. The plays have gotten up. So it's actually been pretty decent on this front with keeping up with topics and things like that.
Bill and Sean as the hosts of the Cinescape main show, for you guys, how has this impacted you?
Well, I'll let you start it off. Go ahead.
No, you can start. Go ahead.
All right. Well, if you guys have noticed, we haven't done an episode in well over a month now. Kind of just figuring out better ways to do things on top of everything else that's going on. Dex has the capacity to do everything right in his Stoffis there, but Bill and I actually use that as well when we record. So we are practicing social distancing and keeping ourselves away from the outside world. So unfortunately, we have not been able to get over to Dex's to record, but we are looking at different ways where we can use Discord, or like we're using right now to record this episode, or some other avenues where maybe we can do video as well and still be able to do our shows now, on top of just the logistical, issues that we might be facing. There's not really a lot going on in the world of Hollywood, except that everything is shutting down and nothing's really going on. So I guess it's kind of a blessing and a curse as well. Bill?
Yeah, as far as affecting me, I am, for my day job, I am working from home now, which, is good and both bad at the same time. It's now I literally have no escape from that. So it's kind of like you have to be turned on to it, almost 24/7 now. But try to take breaks when I can. As Sean said, we haven't recorded anything in about a month, which is when all this pandemic started to take off, and obviously here we are, dead center of it all now. And as we look for new ways, to be innovative. I think this is actually a good time for us too to, kind of take a step back and see, the way that we are doing things, find new innovative ways to go about, reaching our audiences and getting, content out to them and interacting. And so I think we got to be, just aware of the cards that are dealt, and just deal with them appropriately. If Discord wants to sponsor us now that we're on here and using their services and to talk about them, yay, sure, why not? But
shameless plug.
But like Sean said too, there's not a whole lot going on in the world of Hollywood right now. So, I mean, does this mean we rethink, how we go about, what we're delivering? I mean, we'll have to see how the movie industry as a business rebounds, if at all, in any capacity after this, or do we see a big shift in in the meta conscious of how people receive their entertainment, in film and media in general. So it'll be interesting to look at that.
Yeah, a lot of things that we maybe thought, there was always that talk of is streaming going to kill the movie theater going experience, and I don't think anybody ever actually thought that it would. Now it's not so much that it's killing the movie theater experience, as in there's no longer a movie theater experience to be had. How else are you going to be able to get these movies out? And now we're seeing where studios are dropping their movies online for $20 and you get it for 2 days. And when you look at the fact that we've got major studio releases like Black Widow that we currently don't know the fate of as far as when we'll see those in theaters. And then it's also got me thinking about like, well, shit, now what about Oscar season? Now is when are they going to have to adjust the time period that a movie had to be released in order to qualify for an Oscar next year? Things like that.
Yeah, I mean, if they can extend tax season, they're going to have to do that as well. So, everybody's got to be accommodating of the situation at hand here.
Yeah. The Domino's here in Dayton is actually though they're all pretty much they are going nonprofit for the time being. Any profits that they turn, they're putting back into their employees' paychecks, basically giving everybody like a $2-3 raise for the time being.
That was my idea. I told Domino's, listen, something's got to be done. I want more profits for other people, not the pizza people. Okay, maybe the pizza people that work for the people that make the pizzas, but either way, money good. Closures,
Domino's, great company,
great
business,
love it.
Great people working over there, making top quality pizza for everybody. Essential business, great business. I give it a 10.
Incredible people, 10 out of 10. Love them with all my hearts. And Pepperoni Pete, he knows how to cook a pizza. I told him, listen, you cook a great pizza.
I'm about to go on Domino's.com right now and order a pizza after this. Thanks.
Right?
Do it.
Yes, if
McDonald's sent you.
Yeah, just order Domino's pizza right now, everybody. They're taking care of their employees. We actually had a restaurant here in town also. Since they had to close down, they kept all their servers on and just turned them into delivery drivers.
I'm really liking the charitability by different businesses, whether it's grocery stores opening early for seniors to come in before everybody else is allowed, or getting different fundraisers and things going for bartenders and servers and wait staff or whatever it may be. There's so many people impacted by lost jobs, lost wages right now. I know, Bill, you said that you're working from home right now, which is great that you and your wife are able to do that. My wife is working from home as well. Somebody like myself, and I'm not the only one out there, unfortunately got laid off from their job last week. So I'm waiting for that unemployment to kick in, hopefully. But as much as it does suck for my situation, like I said, I can kind of take solace in the fact that there's thousands of other people out there in the same boat as I am, so I'm not alone in it. Mike, Dex, how are you guys both? I know Dex, you're able to work from home as well, but Mike, you have a little bit of a different kind of a job, so kind of let everybody know, what you do and how your jobs have been impacted.
Yeah, so I work as a master control operator at one of the local TV stations, which basically means I'm one of the people in charge of making sure that like you're able to watch TV, like the shows that you're watching, the commercials that are airing, when the news is on. I'm one of the people who actually makes that stuff go to air. So, something, and that's not a job a lot of people ever actually think about. They never think about the fact that like somebody has to actually be there to like hit play for you to be able to watch reruns of Family Feud or whatever. So that's been my job. And then also, we're in charge of like prepping commercial content and stuff to go to the air. So my job is considered essential personnel, so I've been given like press credentials and stuff, so that like in the event they do start having like the National Guard stopping people on the streets, they got to let me through. And my work hours haven't really been affected a whole lot. I still go to work every day. Just the nature of my job itself has changed. It's been a lot more chaotic because everyone else that like we get our stuff from, that we get our shows from, our commercials from, they're all working from home, so stuff's getting to us slower. Not at the usual times. We're having to change the things that we're airing because there are no more, the building I work at is an ABC and Fox station. So we don't have sports right now. So we're kind of scrambling for stuff to put on TV in March, because we should be in the middle of March Madness right now. And, NASCAR should be going on, baseball we should be getting ready to gear up for. And so we're just trying to stay alive, but mostly just keep people informed right now is our main goal.
Yeah, I wanted to piggyback off of that real quick. So we do have one more Cinescape Media show host that is not able to join us tonight, and Sean Bellamy of Sunday Sports Wrap with Sean. Yeah, he's covering sports right now. Unfortunately, he just started the show like a week or so before like the onset of this all becoming.
It was a week.
So he's kind of scrounging for topics. Yeah, I mean, I was listening to his new episode last night. Yeah, and NFL free agency is going on right now. There is something to talk about. If you're really jonesing for some kind of competition, ESPN has the Ocho back up right now.
Yeah.
Get some bowling.
Yeah, on the sports front, like Mike was saying, with everything going on, NASCAR is supposed to be starting up, baseball is supposed to be gearing up, NFL or NHL and NBA playoffs are supposed to be getting going soon, March Madness. The coronavirus is impacting every single part of our everyday lives, from being able to work, go out in public, watch sports or anything on TV right now. Everything's just being shut down. It's just it's really crazy, and something that we've as a people have never experienced. So we're all kind of dealing with it in our own ways.
And so
Mike,
yeah,
so now, like you said, your guys are considered an essential business. Have you lightened the amount of people actually within, say, like your control rooms, or is it still just kind of business as usual?
So it's been an interesting week, because the room that I work in is a tiny little room with anywhere from 2 to 4 people in it, and it's like a little sardine can, because we've got all the stations that we run are set up in there. So what we've been doing over the last week is, because everyone else in our building is working from home, our reporters and editors are working from home, our salespeople are working from home, our HR ladies working from home. So people's empty offices have been like super disinfected and decontaminated and cleaned, and they've taken all their equipment out and been basically building remote access stations for all the different TV channels that we run. And now, instead of having us all be crammed into one little room, they've got each of us working in a different corner of the office, as it were, just monitoring the one single TV channel for 8 hours a day. So that way they can still minimize our exposure to each other, still creating some level of social distancing, because if one person gets, infected, they've got to shut that whole room down and decontaminate it for like 72 hours. And so they're doing what they can. Unfortunately, in the nature of the business, it's a little, we're kind of limited in what we can just because of technology, but they're doing their best. They're not expecting us to sit there and hold hands and cough on each other and share straws. But, there's still some amount of one-on-one interaction we have to have, but we're making it work.
Nice.
Are they taking any extra measures as to like making you take your temperature before you come into the building, stuff like that? Because in my line of work, I'm in the soda business, well, beverage business, but some of our guys that are still sending product to like nursing homes and things like that are deemed essential. They're being made to take their temperatures before entering buildings and being super cautious. Are you guys doing anything like that?
That is in the discussion right now. One thing they did do is they had a bunch of automated hand sanitizer dispensers like you'd see at a hospital installed in at every corner of the building. They bought us a nuclear winter stockpile of the disinfectant wipes and Lysol sprays.
You guys got it all, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to know where they all bought it and took it to, they took it to our office. They're making us, they're actually even dictating, because the few departments that are still at the building, it's just news, engineering, and master control. Each of us has been assigned an entrance to the building, because there's 3 entrances to the building. Each of us has been assigned one that only our department is allowed to use. So engineering is only allowed to go out in or out one door, master control goes in or out one door, and news goes in or out one door. It's a small building, but they're doing what they can, like I said, just to make sure that the social distancing, there is still some semblance of it. Because it's in Ohio right now, we're doing better than a lot of states if you compare us to like Louisiana, because Louisiana and Ohio had their first confirmed cases on the same day, and we're doing miles away better than a state like Louisiana is, but it's still spreading pretty rapidly. And they were talking on the news the other day. They're anticipating probably a 40 to 60% of Ohioans will probably get infected by this thing.
Yeah, the 3 of us are in PA, Southeast PA, outside of Philly. So our big hubs like in Jersey and New York. I mean, they're like Bill and I were discussing earlier. We're kind of the real epicenters of everything. So our communities are being heavily impacted, and you see the numbers of infected and death tolls going up every day. Bill, what did you say the death toll today?
This is the first day so far that we've had 100 deaths due to the virus.
I mean,
that
our hospitals are our hospitals are asking for people to come donate gloves and masks and other medical supplies because they're running out and they don't have things. There's only X amount of beds in each hospital and they're already being overrun. The social distancing thing people aren't really taking seriously, and you wonder what the ramifications are. And when your doctors and nurses and healthcare workers are getting sick on top of the floods of people that they have trying to get tested or whatever it is, healthcare, there's not going to be anybody to take care of anybody. So we all need to do our part in making sure that you're just staying the fuck home. If you need to go to the grocery store or something, that's great. I've been going to I don't know if Mike, if you know what Wawa is, but it's a little convenience store chain that we have here. I've been going to that in the Dollar General right across the street for our groceries for the last week. I mean, we have an online grocery order set for Thursday of this week, and we'll see what they even have in stock. But I mean,
we got a little lucky because they had just built a brand new massive super Kroger right by my office like a month before this shit happened. So we've got this brand new massive, I mean this thing's like the size of a Walmart as far as grocery stores go.
Thank God for Chad Kroger. That man is a savior.
Look at this grocery store.
As of 2:00 today in Ohio, there have been 442 confirmed cases and 6 deaths due to coronavirus. So, I
know Jersey's up over 1,000 confirmed cases. I know that. Deaths are mounting as well. Delaware earlier today announced that they're suspending school through mid-May. Our schools here in PA, they just got another 2 weeks. yeah, my stepson came out all excited. Oh, did you see 2 more weeks off? I'm like, I really don't think that you're going to be finishing up the school year at all. I mean, with the way that this is going, it's only going to keep spreading because we have no way of actually, administering medicine or a vaccine that's going to get rid of it. So it's going to keep going and going. So I don't know what people are expecting. I'm sick of sitting at home, quarantine. Well, if you keep going out and spreading it to people and they keep spreading it to people, it's going to keep forcing us to be doing what we're doing now. So there's just so many, you see these spring breakers in Florida and the shit that's going on in Germany. I don't know if anybody's seen that, like attacking police officers and like spitting and coughing on people purposely, shit like that. I mean,
and then South Carolina, Myrtle Beach,
South
just
Carolina.
had a bunch.
I just don't understand how you can not take this seriously and do what you need to do to get rid of it. And this is for the greater good of everybody. It's going to come knocking on your doorstep sooner or later. So don't think it can't happen to you.
That's why I put the blood of a goat around my front and back door, just to make sure, nothing makes its way.
Was it a virgin goat?
I did a whole.
No,
did your wife make that wreath?
Yes, she did.
Send one my way too.
I did a whole rant about that on my morning show the other day. That exact same. That's too fucking funny. So with everything, as far as, when we started seeing people getting, having been, especially out in California, people who are big in the film sphere, who are involved in the Schmodown and Collider and stuff like that. We saw where a lot of them were starting to start their own independent channels and Patreons because suddenly, they were out of work. A lot of them worked freelance and didn't have those opportunities anymore. So as for guys like us who are small potatoes, but potatoes nonetheless in online content creation, is there
potato right
is there is there a silver lining of some kind, just trying to essentially find the light in the dark place here? Obviously we're probably going to see where, Dex, you were talking about it earlier, where it's we're starting to see numbers going up because everyone's stuck at home now and they need something to do. Is there some kind of unique opportunity being provided here?
Yes, being born in the darkness. Show me the light.
See, what I'm curious to see too is everybody's kind of, what I've noticed is, like you said, everybody's starting to work from home. How many to medium-sized businesses are actually going to turn around and be like, you know what? We don't need that office that we're spending, $1,200 to $2,000 a month on. We can manage working from home. I work for a semi-big company. I think we're around 200 people, and we all have the ability to work from home. Now, I know they like having us in office, and we get meals 3 times a week, and that's all great. But it's we can manage doing everything at home. So it's the amount of overhead. I'm wondering how many companies are realizing they're going to save by just saying, you know what, we're going to get rid of the office. We're going to go to the cloud. Everyone can work from home. Maybe even, that savings can go into some people's paychecks. I'm curious to see that shift once this happens. Once this is over, how many businesses decide, you know what, we're just going to go strict work from home and we're going to save the overhead.
Yeah, I'm curious too, because I've said that to several people, and my company being in digital marketing, that Friday when Trump gave the press conference and stuff, I mean, I don't usually grab my equipment and take it home with me, but that weekend I was like, you know what, I have a feeling this might escalate in the next coming days, so I grabbed my stuff and took it home, and sure enough, that over the weekend we got the call and said, hey, next 2 weeks we're going to be working from home. And then last week got the call and said it's going to be 30 days now at least. And, we're working just as efficiently, if not, I feel a little bit more working from home. You don't have all those distractions and stuff like that. And, when you have tools like Google Hangouts or
Discord,
or Discord, or we use
Slack.
other service. services for meetings and things like that. I think certain industries
2 meetings
can thrive from that. And, you know, at the same time, when you have other businesses that are maybe investing for the first time in, you know, in their operations, and, you know, businesses that said, you know, hey, we either close our doors during this time period, or, you know, we can, you know, get employees laptops and cell phones and equipment and get them set up working at home. Once you make that investment, though, you can't just, you know, return things at Best Buy and be like, oh, we don't need this computer anymore. We don't need these phones and these services. You know, you can't just, you know, return that stuff and abandon it overnight. You've made a commitment and integrated that into your operations now. So when this is all said and done, like Deck said, you know, do you really need that, you know, that large office space? Do you really need to have that, you know, in-person connectivity? Or do we look to, you know, take something from this and say life has shown us we can be productive, we can focus on our families, we can not feel like we're, you know, running around in a million directions and trying to make it all work. Like, there's something that shows like we can work from home, we can take care of our family, not feel so disconnected. Hopefully something positive comes out of this.
What happens when Skynet goes active and gains consciousness, and then everybody's jobs are gone, though?
Yeah,
Don't
we're
worry.
fucked.
No, don't worry, guys. We're okay. I've talked to the creator. We're all right. The Cinescape Media Network will always be friendly to Skynet.
All right, I like it.
I, for one, welcome our robot overlords.
But just
Yeah, well,
the
you
last
guys-
thing on that, too. Go ahead, Sean.
You guys, you know, are lucky enough to be able to have the option to work from home, and you know many other people do. But you know, somebody like me in my industry, unfortunately, doesn't. So I mean, you're seeing all the, you know, bars and restaurants and everything be closed, and that, you know, is the absolute reason why I was laid off. I go to different bars and restaurants and clean out their beer lines. Well, people don't need their beer lines cleaned if nobody's able to go and drink their beer at their bars. So, you know, as great as it is that there are people that can work from home, you know, there's a lot of people hurting out there that are not allowed to actually go to work and are suffering the consequences of it, unfortunately. I saw, last week in PA, unemployment numbers, the one, I don't know if it's like Tuesday or Wednesday, they were at 50,000. Then the next day jumped up to 70,000 new claims. So the economy is going to be in a really bad spot for quite a long time with everything going on.
I don't know.
PA's got a lot of that.
Go ahead, Dex.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Mike. I was just saying, PA's got a lot of bars and restaurants, which is why we'll see a high number of that. But hopefully when this is done, everyone can get back to work in that. But just the last thing to say on the whole thing of, like I said, working from home, the other aspect of a lot of people working from home is the impact on the environment, because you don't have everybody driving around just to get to and from work. Like, I personally drive an hour to and from work every day. So the amount of impact that also has with a lot of businesses, just going to a strict work from home type policy would be great, because that kind of money can pour into the industries like Sean's, where restaurants and bars will have more people coming to them because we'll have more money in our pocket from not spending it on gas and tolls. And we'll have that money to be able to take our wives and our children out to restaurants and bars. And then those kind of industries could even boom from this kind of, you know, economic term in the way that we do things.
Yeah, I think we're going to see.
I agree. Sorry, Mike. Day one, I plan on taking my kids out to the bar, you know, as soon as they open. So.
No, I was thinking about that the other day. It's like, yeah, like right now, businesses are going to take a huge hit. Like, because they're not going to be open. They're not going to have as much business or any business at all. But I think what we're going to see is when everything is said and done, and we're able to essentially go back to business as usual, you're going to see where, because like right now, everyone's traveling a hell of a lot less. Not only that, gas is down incredibly. Gas like $1.70 right now here where I'm at.
I got it for $2.40 the other day, and that was.
I got it for $1.99 in Levittown.
I'm a little pissed gas is so cheap right now because
but
I filled up before gas prices tanked, so I'm a little pissed. But right now where everyone's not having to spend as much money on gas, not spending as much money going out and doing things, is so this money is going to stay inside for a long time, so that when the businesses do open up, it's like, yeah, the day one that the bar around the corner from my house opens up, it's going to be packed because everyone is going to be dying to get out of their house and go have a drink or go sit down at a restaurant, not have to cook their own meal for once. These businesses will struggle for now, but when things do get back to normal, they're going to have a massive grand opening across the board.
Yeah, I mean, my yard's like the Jungle Book right now. I mean, I got tigers and bears and wolves and shit just lounging out here. The environment, it's rebounding. Yeah,
It
gas
honestly,
emissions are down.
you're,
I can actually see the stars. It looks nice.
You're not wrong though. I mean, there was a report the other day that said like emission levels in general are just down because no one's out driving right now. It kind of feels like that scene in Avengers Endgame where it's like, yeah, I heard some whales were swimming around New York City now because the water's not as polluted. And it's like, oh God, was Thanos right? Oh shit.
Yeah. He definitely was onto something.
If you use a mirror and you reflect Thanos in the mirror, it reflects upside down and says Trump. fucking wild, man.
All right, so let's go off of that. Conspiracy theories. What have we been hearing online?
Oh,
Bill is a conspiracy theory.
What do you got, Bill?
It was purported by China. the China virus.
The Wuhan flu.
The thing that gets me is that even though, it's clearly originated from China, at what point does, because every time Trump says China virus, that's like poking somebody in the chest with and saying something that pisses them off,
Mm-hmm.
like you're just like, all right, nerd, just poking them in the chest basically. So at some point tensions could escalate to a point where you're staring down the barrel of a gun basically, and that's my fear of what the situation won't teach the general public, gravity wise of the situation is, this is a unifying event, in the sense that everybody needs to be united and do what they need to do. Just play your part, stay home, wash your hands, do common sense shit. But then, Sean and Dex talk about things that are going on in the world where people are coughing on other people deliberately and just doing real stupid shit. But on the flip side of that, I mean, there are global repercussions from this. So when things settle down and you start to get the real facts and start putting this thing together, because clearly there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's, holes in the information that we do have. Fake news.
No, you people in the media are just spreading lies and misinformation, Mike.
I will fight you. I will fight you right now.
I was waiting for that.
Mike, speak on what's going on with backlash towards the media in your immediate job.
It's and I normally am not one to I've been trying to back off of the political discussion stuff on social media. I don't like feeling the fire. But this is one in particular that just really gets under my skin. One, because I see people I've known for 20 years posting anti-media stuff, and it's like, y'all get that I work for the media, right? You're essentially calling me a liar right now. But when you see people saying the media is is making this up, or the media is causing panic. Oh, the media is the reason that people went and hoarded toilet paper. I dare you to show me one newscast where an anchor said, right now the coronavirus is in the U.S., so officials are advising you to go buy 80 packs of toilet paper. You're not going to find one. You're not going to find one where there's a newscaster telling everybody, quick, panic, buy all your shit, hoard everything, fuck your neighbors, take whatever you can get. That doesn't exist. That doesn't happen. Now, what you might see is the news media showing a video of a politician saying that, or you might have the news media showing coverage of officials talking about the coronavirus, but the media themselves aren't like creating a narrative or creating information. They're showing you video footage of officials sharing this information. So don't blame the media because they're providing you with information. If you don't like the information, that's fine, but go for the person who's actually like sharing the information. It's not the media's fault that things are bad right now. You know, I think what a lot of it comes down to is people don't like bad news. They don't like news that makes them uncomfortable and feel bad. So whenever they get news that shatters their perfect vision of the world, oh, well, now they're just trying to make me afraid. Well, honestly, we kind of need to be a little afraid right now. Because the people who aren't afraid are the ones who are down in Florida and Myrtle Beach going to the beach in droves and saying, yeah, it's fine if I get coronavirus. It's not that big a deal. If I get it, I get it, man. What the fuck? Yeah. It's like, you know what? I hope you do get the coronavirus. I don't hope you die, but I hope you get it, and I hope you think you're going to die, so you have that fear and you learn that lesson.
I'd say that's absolutely fair.
Yeah, on our local ABC news outlet today, I got into a thing with a guy, about
Of course you did.
Whatever it was, but he's like, it's just you're constantly seeing downplaying, and you relate to somebody that there are people out of work, and people, oh well, why don't you just choose a better profession, then you wouldn't be out of a job, like shit like that. Like I hate this that. Like we're saying, this needs to be a unifying event that brings everybody together in unison. We need to be working together to save each other, and there's just all these people out there, whether they're calling it a hoax, or just not thinking it's serious or important, or just not thinking, well, because it hasn't happened to me, I don't really give a shit. And these are the people that are going to keep spreading it and make us have to do this even longer. So
the key, I think,
we just need to be smart.
And
also, real quick, Mike, along the media angle, well, where are you getting your information from? Are you getting it from the UK Daily Mail, or are you getting it from the CDC that's being reported by your local Fox, ABC, whatever outlet?
Right.
I mean, I'm not sitting here watching Fox News or CNN or MSNBC all day long. If I'm going to watch something, it's going to be a broadcast of a press coverage talking from officials. I'm not looking up Mickey Mouse websites and, oh, well, this person said he got the coronavirus and didn't die and he's fine, we're all going to be okay.
Exactly. Like if you're getting your information from cdc.gov, that's one thing, but if you're coming at me saying, well, I heard on donkeyleft.cuck that it was actually just a strain of the cold, it's like, no, it's not. People have forgotten what it's like to have to do research, I think is what it really comes down to. They got out of college, like, I don't got to do research papers anymore. I'm never looking another thing up for the rest of my life.
PA format my ass.
The thing too is with social media and stuff, everybody is their own news anchor. Everybody is able to receive news and regurgitate it. However, they can't process the news that they take, pick it apart, separate fact from fiction and what's opinion, and people don't create an educated answer of their own. They don't say, this is what I learned, this is what my what my opinion is based on what I know to be facts, and be able to intelligently put that back out into the universe. People don't have that filter of good sense. So, everybody feels just because they're able to receive the news and they're able to put it out there instantaneously and record, reactions. People think the reaction is somebody accepting what they have to say. So they're immediately validated. They don't feel like they need to go on any further. And then when they encounter that one person, i.e. Sean Harrigan, who tries to...
I have been a social media warrior lately. Not social justice, social media.
What's the difference?
It's getting me in trouble with family, who I'm starting to not really care about anymore. But
Same boat.
yeah, I mean, along the lines of what Bill's saying, like for the Cinescape podcast, when a news story comes out about actor or actress being casted or a movie date releasing, we're not looking at cosmicbooknews.com. We're not looking at wegotThiscovered.com. We're looking at Variety. We're looking at the Hollywood Reporter. We're looking at credentialed and credible news outlets where we're regurgitating the information from back to you. So, if you are seeing posts on Facebook, uk.dailymail.com, probably don't look at that as a valid news source. Look at what the CDC is saying. Look at what your government officials are saying in press conferences and broadcasts. Be aware of the information that you're looking at, and then sharing out to other people and spreading misinformation and fake news.
Yeah, kind of the last thing I really want to say on the media aspect of it is, when you're dealing with something like this, which is a governmental national emergency, if whatever site you're reading your information from doesn't end with a .gov, take it with a grain of salt and a shot of penicillin.
Hey, I'm allergic to penicillin.
Oh, well, you're fucked.
All right, we'll use Z-Pack for this purpose.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing I'd say on that too is that I think it's kind of the human condition of, because of the way technology is, everything that we read is kind of just considered media, whether it's TV, news, or the TV, the radio, the internet. It's all kind of just generalized to the media. And I think, Mike, you even posted an article about it, and I completely agree, where just because they're the person that reported it, they're not the source of that information.
Yeah.
And that's a very unfair assumption to just blame people for reporting what they've heard or exactly what they've seen. Now, if that person in the media is going and saying their own thing, that's one part. But to generalize it in just the media, quote unquote, it's really unfair to a lot of people that are actually trying to report the correct information from the exact source they're hearing verbatim. Yeah. They can report it verbatim, and that person's blamed, but they're not even the person that said it, and that's completely unfair. And I think a lot of people really need to start realizing that when they're trying to point blame at somebody.
I think something people need to realize real quick, and I've said this a lot lately, and the Washington Post did a great article about this as well. There is no such thing as, quote unquote, the media. Like, it's not one big, it's not like there's a bunch of people sitting around a big oak table tapping their fingers like Mr. Burns, like, how can we construe the information of the day? Every news source you see is independent of the one previously. It's all...
We do.
It's all one. Yes, it's a common industry, but you don't sit around and go and say, well, I heard that the restaurants were, or you don't see people saying, well, I heard that the popcorn vendors, like, the media is not an organization. The media is an industry, and the media itself, like kind of like what Dex was saying, if you come at me and say, I don't trust the media because according to, and then you give me a quote from a website, I am in my mind smacking you in the face, because now you're telling me you don't trust the media because the media told you something else.
That's just a source.
It's the hypocrisy in some people. What it comes down to is what they're saying. What the reason they're saying they don't trust the media, what they mean is they don't trust anything that doesn't fit into their nifty little box that they like to live in. And people need to go back to because we've seen the complete death of political discourse in the last 4 years. Nobody has discussion anymore. Nobody has a free sharing of ideas. We now like everything to fit into this little checklist of things that make us feel comfortable and safe, and we're not okay with hearing anything that challenges our view of reality. Reality is ever changing, and in a time like this, we need to be aware of the fact that things can change drastically for the better or for the worse at the drop of a hat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and when you look at history, there's the famous quote, those that don't learn from history are sure to repeat it, or doomed to repeat it, whatever it is. 100 years ago, the world experienced the Spanish flu. It killed 27% of the entire world's population at the time. Yet there was no vaccines, there was no medicine, there was no social distancing, there was nothing. People just died. So if people don't think that something like that, which is currently happening right now, can happen again, you're sadly mistaken. And it's like, Dex said, the human condition. It's, the arrogance of humanity to think that you're above something just because you're currently not being impacted yourself. But it's like Thanos says, I am inevitable.
Yeah.
This is going to impact you one way or another, whether you get sick and die, or whether somebody in your family does, or whatever it may be. But it's
and
it's here.
I think where some of the some people might have the wrong idea is, like, comparing this to the Spanish flu, I think is a great comparison. I've heard that comparison a lot lately, because that was really kind of the last big pandemic that we had globally. And the thing you have to remember is, that was 100 years ago. And yes, technology and medicine and knowledge and communication have jumped light years in the last 100 years. But what needs to really change is the people. I think a lot of people are so comfortable in this idea that, like, oh, we're going to be fine because technology and medicine are so much better. It's like, yeah, but there are still things we have to say and do and think and believe as a species in order for those to even be worth a damn.
I agree. We're all of an age where we can probably very vividly remember the morning of 9/11. I know for myself, I was a freshman in high school in the cafeteria when I heard, and we immediately got sent home. To that point, I had never experienced anything to that scale, never thought something like that could happen until it did. So, people need to realize that things can and will happen and are currently happening. So we need to all follow suit and, do what we need to do and do our part.
All right, so let's. I think we've kind of said everything that we're all kind of saying the same thing now at this point. We talked about earlier bringing up some conspiracy theories. I brought up one that I think is actually kind of funny, which is the Ayatollah of Iran has actually been rejecting assistance from other countries to combat this thing. And his response is that he believes the virus was genetically created using Iranian genetic data specifically to target Iranians.
Well, I mean, I guess, with the whole nuclear angle and everything, I can see where people are going with that. Was it the actual Ayatollah or the Ayatollah of rock and roll?
It was.
That's what I want to know.
It was the guy from the Oak Ridge Boys, Ayatollah Papa Mau Mau.
I'm trying to think of something else that I heard. I mean, obviously, genetic creations of from us, from China, us trying to put the blame on China. Trump's got a hard on for them. He wants to close their borders and
there's
trade
the whole
and everything.
Chinese people eating bats thing.
Right. I mean, if Ozzy Osbourne could do it and not get sick,
right?
What's going on now?
He survived everything. One of the ones I've been reading is that hand dryers are effective at killing coronavirus. If that were true, I'd be sitting here with a blow dryer in my hand, just heating up my fingers.
Yeah, that just make sure you microwave your takeout food containers, because the microwave will kill the virus before your food's heated up. Shit like that. Dex, I'd be interested in your line of show discussions and topics, on the more paranormal thing, side of things. Have you heard anything? Maybe this is like an alien, extraterrestrial kind of virus or something like that?
I actually have not heard anybody mention that this is a virus from an alien. I have heard people go that, oh, this is Mother Nature, and it's basically like, well, you haven't listened to me for a while, so fuck you. Here we go. I'm gonna give you a virus.
Cleansing.
Yeah, it's a natural cleansing of I'm gonna send you to your house. I'm gonna let myself clean up. I can see dolphins in a different ocean. I can see, the smog and the pollution over China and all those industries. I can see that clear. But no, but I've also seen a couple memes come out that were pretty funny where it was like in March it's COVID-19, and then in April and it's like a picture of like looking over an ocean or a landscape and you see like the Death Star in the background and it's like the aliens are coming. And I kind of touched on this a little bit in my last episode. It's like, the show The Orville we've all watched. I think it was Bill that put it on Dexflix where has an alien civilization actually flown over us and seen us as one of those planets that we're still in a kind of infancy, and they look at us and they're like, nope, not gonna bother. Nope, we're just gonna keep floating a while. We're just gonna come back later and see how they are. So that's really all I've seen about it. Nobody really blaming aliens on it. I mean, again, this is only a couple months old. Give it a few months. I'm sure somebody out there is gonna be like, it's the aliens. And maybe it's the guy with the big hair that that says it. But as far as
their boy,
as far as anybody really pointing blame, I haven't seen it. People are just more focused on since a lot of people are home, I've seen a lot of focus on really kind of just digging into archives of like, okay, where has this last sighting been, and where has this? And I've seen a lot more just like kind of research into different things since people are home. But nobody really pointing blame as to, this virus came from an alien or anything along those lines.
If you look at the movie Prometheus, they wanted to come back and wipe out humanity because they didn't like how things were going. Black goo and everything. Maybe the coronavirus is the engineer black goo, so to say. They're trying to wipe us out.
I mean, never know. You really don't.
It's all Michael Fassbender's fault.
Yeah, I did see there's a thing going around comparisons of the first season poster of The Walking Dead compared to actual shots of cities right now and like abandoned streets and highways and stuff around them. If you haven't seen it, check it out online. They're pretty cool. I'll see if I can find it to post it on the Cinescape Facebook page. But like we were talking about with nature, you're going to see the environment start to rebound a little bit, catch a breather there. It's like when you stop smoking, your lungs start to heal. Maybe any kind of silver lining, if the ozone layer can kind of heal itself a little bit and shit like that. Maybe we'll be a little bit better off for it.
And if anything, I think that's a great opportunity for us to kind of realize, like, if and when we come out of this and we see, hey, because we all took a chill pill for a little bit and we had this benefit bounce back in the environment around us, that should be a clear enough sign of, hey, maybe there's actually something to this idea of we should calm the fuck down.
Yeah, I like Dex's thought about more people working remotely and not taking such a toll on emissions and things like that. Things like that can actually benefit us in the long run. Yeah.
Something else I'd like to see, because we know and are fans of a lot of people who are freelance, like professional stand-up comedians, guys who tour and are reliant solely on performing in front of audiences. Right now, they don't have work, and we're seeing issues with the movie industry not being able to put movies out. And I'm hoping this kind of also helps really be that final wake-up call for people to realize, like, we need to make sure that we're still investing in arts. Whenever we hear about schools getting their arts programs cut, or we talk about funding for the arts in general, like, this is the kind of thing we need to think about, because if that, we all love the Netflix comedy specials, but if these guys can't get paid and can't get paid to work, they're going to go away. A lot of great comedic talent, actors, a lot of them started out doing stand-up. We need them to be able to have that outlet. And coming out of this, I think we need to make sure that we remember that next time your friend asks you to pay $5 to go to his comedy show, just remember he might need that $5 later on.
Mike's calling me out.
Calling a lot of people out right now. This got really personal really fast.
Call him out, Mike. Now, speaking of movies and things like that, what are we all doing around the house to kind of keep a sense of normalcy or sanity. I mean, yeah, the wife and I are watching a lot of TV. I've watched more movies in the last 2 weeks than I have probably in the last year. Just a couple things that I've been watching. If you guys want to piggyback off of,
what have you watched finally, Sean?
Now I'm watching it all, Bill. TV wise, we just started on HBO The Outsider with Ben Mendelsohn, Jason Bateman. It's a Stephen King adaptation. A couple episodes in, very good. Highly recommend. We are all caught up on The Walking Dead. Yeah, it's ever more looking like a reality at this point. We finished The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu. We're all caught. Yeah. We finished Handmaid's Tale season 3. All caught up on that. I think I'm 5 episodes into Picard. And yeah, my other show is The Curse of Oak Island on History Channel. All caught up on that as well. TV wise, what's everybody watching?
Bill, you first.
TV, not much. I'm just kind of waiting for Ozark to start up.
Yeah, Jason Bateman there too.
Yeah.
Dex, what are you watching?
Right now, me and the wife are in the middle of finishing Big Bang Theory. I actually no, that's not TV. I just finished Kindred Spirits season 4. I just started Portals of Hell season 1. That's Jack Osborne from Mr. Ozzy Osbourne we talked about earlier. And then just started Weeds as well. I can't watch just one show straight through. I kind of balance it out. I'll watch like one ghost show and then I'll watch a comedy. So I bounce them back. So I just finished Parks and Rec. So now I restarted Weeds.
I fell off after a couple seasons, but I enjoyed that.
Parks and Rec, yeah, it's about season 4 where it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And you get kind of bored of it. But it was a good background sound for actually writing the past couple episodes of Suburban Paranormal.
There you go. Mike, have you been able to watch anything TV-wise?
So this is funny. So actually back in November, I made the decision to go back on Hulu and start watching Law & Order SVU from the very beginning. Because I was a huge fan growing up, and then I kind of fell off after a while.
Sunday afternoon marathons.
Yeah, so I'm up to but again, that was back in November. So now that the end of the world is happening, I'm almost done. So now I got to find something else. But I finally started watching Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which my family have been telling me to get into, and I freaking love that. I'm gonna start watching the new season of the Clone Wars here soon on Disney Plus with my sister because we're both big Star Wars fans. And then honestly, stuff that's recurring right now, guilty pleasure, not gonna lie, a huge fan of The Masked Singer, so I've been enjoying watching that on Fox. That show's a lot of fun to me. I know a lot of people are kind of like but it makes me laugh. And then honestly, really and truly, I really let myself down this past Oscar season with how many movies I realized when I did my Oscar poll for The Office that I just didn't see. So I've been going back and rewatching a lot of the big Oscar flicks that I missed last year. I just got a hold of Richard Jewell, so I'm going to start watching that. I'll probably start watching that tonight, honestly.
Mike, you don't have access to Dexflix, do you?
To Dexflix?
Yeah. You gotta suck his dick.
I don't know. I've got a pretty impressive library of my own.
My office has gone up about probably 10 degrees from the amount of stuff that Sean and Bill here have been streaming off my servers in my office. If you hear the little hum in the background of my voice, that's actually 2 computers which house most of my media and run all of my servers in this house.
Humming. You're like
it actually runs most of Cinescape Media, by the way.
My buddy Vince is like that. Or my buddy Travis, rather. He's got, when him and his wife got their house, he was like, "Honey, you can have the whole house. I just want control of the basement." And he took the closet down in the basement and converted it into a server room, and has everything running through a Plex server, and has his whole house like hooked up to Alexa and shit, and basically built a movie theater into his basement. So now he'll just go downstairs and be like, "Alexa, play season 2 of The Big Bang Theory," and it'll just start rolling. And so that's what I've been doing too, is working on getting my own server system set up here, and also just cleaning.
Let me know.
What have you been watching movie wise?
I just watched Sonic last night. That was good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, better than Birds of Prey.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. But continue. Anything
God,
else
we're gonna
that
be
you
on here
watch?
for another hour.
I finally
Yeah,
watched
man,
John
right.
Wick.
Yeah, me too,
About
baby.
God.
Dude, I think there's been about 15 people that have told me when I said, "Oh, I finally watched John Wick last night." They're like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, about time?" And I'm like, "Really? Like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal." But you get a headshot, you get a headshot. Everybody gets a fucking headshot in that movie. God damn.
So Dex, which one are you on?
I only watched number 1. I'll probably watch 2 and 3 tonight because after watching number 1 at like 1:30 in the morning last night, I couldn't watch the next 2, but I'm like, as soon as the kids and the wife are in bed, number 2 is going on in the freaking living room.
I finally watched 2 and 3 this past week, a couple nights ago.
Yeah, Sean
Finally, after everybody getting on me all this time, finally did it. I got just Dex. When you get to the scene where he fights the Chinese guys in the antique shop, to me, it's the most insane fight sequence that I've ever seen in my life.
It's so
Just get ready for it.
cinematic, right?
All right, so put up a poll.
What's that?
I said we need a poll then. Is that the greatest action movie cinematic sequence, the Chinese and John Wick?
I did put up a poll on the Facebook page whether it's the best action trilogy of all time, and people more.
Well, yeah,
more
you're
saying
talking
no,
trilogy,
yeah.
but is that sequence the best actions?
Yeah, you
I
might have
don't
to
know
get
if
that one
you
up.
can. I don't know if you can like pose that question to a generic audience, though. I mean, like here you're surrounded by, aficionados, people that do this for some devoted part of their life for a living. Like to ask like a general fan,
we don't
do
make
you
money
think
from this,
do you
though.
think the Chinese antique shop where John Wick kills 23 people, like, I mean, I
great.
can respect the question, but if you were asking like fucking who's Raoul Bobet or whatever from New York,
You still owe him that stuff,
Raoul
Bill.
Douglas?
is he gonna get it? Like, he's gonna be like, well, it doesn't compare to when the Green Ranger fought, 8 putties in Angel Grove.
Dude, I really want to rewatch the entire original Power Rangers. I'm not lying.
It's on Netflix and it's on Dexflix, and
I know.
you know,
and there's
what
and
90s
it's
show
a
I tried to go back and go ahead, man. I'm
It's a
sorry.
3-part. I was going to just say it's a 3-part arc for the Green Ranger saga there. So Rita Repulsa's got their Green Ranger.
Oh wow! A couple years ago on Netflix, I went back and rewatched all of VR Troopers.
Oh,
Nice.
That was I'll tell you something right now. I loved that show as a kid. Watching it now in I think it was like 2018 eyes, man, does it not hold up? Because it's not like the Power Rangers, because it's similar to Power Rangers where you had a lot of the fight sequences were from the Japanese show and then they just dubbed American audio and then they shot. They did the same thing with VR Troopers, except with VR Troopers, it was a combination of like 3 different Japanese shows that weren't related at all. So there was stuff that was like spliced together where you're like, okay, those are both clearly not happening on the same set right now. Or where they tried to like recreate some of the original costumes with the new characters and it looked like it was made for about $5.
I tried watching. Yeah, that's another show that doesn't hold up.
You dropped out. I didn't hear it. What?
Not.
What?
Your audio dropped out. What were you talking about?
I was talking about anal sex.
Oh, cool. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah. The spit lube that you see him pulling, that's all show. That don't really work.
Yeah,
Bill's trying to sell it.
I'm selling it.
Stuff that I'm selling that I've watched. I watched Dark Phoenix last night.
Stink.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean the train sequence at the end was pretty cool, but other than that, the rest of the movie sucked. Watched Aquaman.
Aquaman,
a couple days ago.
I like it.
No, it was pretty terrible. watched today, this morning when the baby went down for a nap, Birds of Prey. Finally watched it. I feel like this movie is an R-rated Joel Schumacher Batman universe film with excessive cursing for no reason.
Were you
My
upset that
God.
you didn't get to watch it before everybody?
Oh, and I'm upset that I watched it. God, that movie sucked so bad. I don't understand what people are looking at.
I still haven't seen it.
Jesus Christ! I mean, I'm just not buying it. What's her face? Who played Huntress? Her character was a complete joke. I'm not buying Harley Quinn just taking on these huge dudes like they're putties from the Power Rangers. It's just ridiculous. Rosie Perez, how old is she? And she's kicking these dudes' asses. Like, come on, man. Give me a little bit of sense of reality. Like this not happening. And I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the messages and whatever other stuff going on. But just as a movie, it was just awful movie. So that's all I have to say about that. Maybe I'll write up a review. I don't know. I watched yesterday the Beatles movie where everybody forgets about the Beatles except the one guy.
Yeah,
How
I'm gonna
was
watch that
that?
tomorrow.
It was all right. I mean, it was kind of clunky with the story, but
See, I'm not a Beatles fan, so I haven't brought myself to watch it yet.
Get out. Just get out of here right now. Close this
I was
out.
gonna say, I heard if you don't like the Beatles, don't even fucking bother.
I mean, why would you? It's about the Beatles
Well,
music.
but you know what? I'm not a Beatles fan, but you know what I do love is Across the Universe.
That's a good one. I like that.
That was another one I heard to watch.
Yeah, you gotta watch that one.
What about that other movie that's like Yesterday, but it's like about Bruce Springsteen?
Oh yeah,
It's like a complete rip that like got completely
well, isn't
overshadowed.
it's his like touring stuff, isn't it?
Is that what
I
it is?
know.
I have no idea.
No, I do know what you're talking about. There's two different ones. One he put out like an actual like concert tour thing.
No, it's like the
There's-
same.
Yeah,
It's like
I
the
know what
same
you're talking
exact
about.
premise. It's like some kid. He's I don't know, some weirdo or something, and he wakes up and he's like, oh, like living like the life or something like Springsteen or something.
I know exactly
Was
what you're
that,
talking about.
was that Blinded by the Light? Is that what that one was?
Was what the hell was it? Blinded by the Light.
Yeah.
doesn't-
doesn't.
Yeah, which doesn't make you think of Bruce Springsteen right off the bat.
No.
I think he wrote that song though, I believe, right?
Did he?
I
He
don't
wrote
know.
that song for Man, or had a writing credit on it or something. I don't know, but when I think of Blinded by the Light, I don't think of Bruce Springsteen. But
Cocaine.
yes, so that's pretty much everything that I've watched lately. Yeah, other than that, just kind of putzing around the house. I'm on baby duty during the day while the wife's working from home, and then drinking beers after that.
Oh, so you're a stay-at-home dad now, huh?
For the time being, yeah,
Must be
I have a
so
tentative
hard.
April 6th callback date to work.
So
We'll see how
hard
long
being
that
a
goes.
stay-at-home dad, huh?
26th? They got you pushed out to the 26th, Bill?
What's that?
I have a callback date of April 6th as of right now, but
Oh, April
Probably.
6th.
yeah, it's probably going to get extended, I would think. Who knows?
Considering they pushed 2 months. Or 2 weeks, not 2 months, I'm sorry.
Yeah, my little brother
Yeah.
was going to Kent State, and now he's having to take lectures via Skype with his professor. And my sister, the school district that she's in high school right now. They're doing all kinds of e-learning stuff, so they are putting a lot of stuff on their Chromebooks and just kind of preparing for the fact they're not going to see the inside of a school again for a while. And then I know that right now,
They sound prepared. Sounds like they're gonna really massacre this semester.
right? They're also talking
Did they
about what they're
issue
going to do
them
with
Chromebooks, Mike?
Yeah, the schools issued them the Chromebooks at the beginning of the year, and so because they already do like, it'll be Christmas break, and they've still got like papers and shit to sign, which is kind of cruel. But now they're just kind of making it to where everything's going to be on there as well. They're talking about what they're going to do as far as standardized testing goes, because obviously they're not going to have a bunch of kids crammed into 40 kids in a room taking a test for 6 hours during this whole thing. So they're trying to figure a lot of that stuff out too.
Our state testing's been canceled for the rest of the year. Our PSSAs and stuff like that. My stepkids, their father lives in North Carolina, and their siblings down there, their school year has been canceled the rest of the year, and they're talking about having the seniors having to go back and redo time to make up for it. Jeez. Instead of graduating on time.
So did the Kent State massacre joke just go over everyone's head, or just not?
I'm not familiar.
I totally missed it.
Yeah, I missed it.
Oh wow.
Over all our heads, Bill.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Oh, crap.
Well,
Well, gentlemen, we've been going on for a little while now about our respective lives and fields of work and things like that, how we're all being impacted. I think we're all at the consensus that everybody needs to kind of just hunker down and pitch in and do what needs to be done to stop the spread of this virus. And we all want to wish you all out there safety and health for yourselves, friends, family. Keep each other safe, keep each other healthy, and everybody do their part. We're going to still be putting out content, whether it's in podcast form, video form, whatever we're able to do, whatever we're able to come up with to compensate for things. But we are going to be here for you to at least provide a distraction. Over on our Cinescape Media Facebook group page, for the fan page, we have a thread set up there, kind of like a coronavirus support group. If you want to go in and talk about your experiences, what you're going through, how your life's been impacted as well, definitely hop on there and leave your comments. We'll all be there to support you as well. But just keep on keeping on. And, we will get through it as a nation. There's going to be a lot of impacts. People are dying every day. People are getting sick every day, and we need to really take stock of that and do what we need to do to help stop it. So I think that's where we're going to leave that for tonight. We wanted to thank you all for listening and supporting all of our shows. Let's go around the horn real quick. Dex, where can everybody find Suburban Paranormal online?
Absolutely. So the website, obviously, Cinescape.media, where you'll find all of our podcasts. Suburban Paranormal on Facebook. It's actually on Twitter is going to be spelled just a little differently for everybody. It's going to be SUB. Oh, excuse me. So for Suburban Paranormal, it's S. Bill, you forgot to mute while you were doing that. Oh man. Anyway, so yeah, Suburban Paranormal on Twitter and Facebook, but Suburban Paranormal spelled just a little differently here. It's going to be SUBRBNPARANRML. So check us out. Like I said, we're doing pretty well. And suburbanparanormal@gmail.com. Email anything you want to talk about, any evidence you might have caught, or if you want to do an interview with me and talk about anything, shoot us an email and we'll get it scheduled.
Absolutely. Mike, Mixtape Radio, new episode is out today. It's a Mixtape Monday. Tell us where everybody can find you guys online.
Yeah, man, Mixtape Radio. You can get us on Twitter and Instagram at Mixtape Radio Pod. We're always looking for music submissions. Send us an email, music at mixtaperadiopod@gmail.com. Please make sure you actually send us a song. If you don't send us a song, the whole thing kind of falls apart. And we just launched our Patreon, patreon.com/mixtaperadiopod. And all that really is there for is to help us kind of cover the cost of the music, because we do buy all the music legally. And yeah, we have new episodes up every single Monday. Today's episode, most of the bands and artists I featured on today's episode are people I know personally from over the years, and I got some great music on there today. So yeah, always looking for stuff, and check us out every Monday.
Absolutely. And if you're listening out there and you know friends or family that are local musicians, send their information our way, and we'll get them on there as well. Mike's doing a great job with that show. Absolutely love it. Dex, Suburban Paranormal is fantastic as well. I listened to your podcast episode over the weekend. Bill, for you and I, everybody can find us on Facebook and Instagram at The Cinescape, and on Twitter at Cinescape Cast. All of our podcasts for all of our shows are found wherever good podcasts are found. Just go to cinescape.media, like Dex alluded to earlier, for all of our great content. Make sure you check out Sunday Sports Wrap with Sean as well for his show. And I am actually going to be starting for Eagles fans, Philadelphia Eagles fans, the Eagles Nest podcast and news coverage as well. So that's going to be getting up and going, assuming the football season starts. So, yeah. Check out all our great shows, and if you want to be a part of the Cinescape Media Network, send us an email or fill out the form attached to our website as well. We were always looking for new shows to come on board. For myself, Sean Harrigan, for Bill Ratty Tazzi, Mike Shea, and Dex Burgess, thank you all for listening. We hope you stay safe and healthy out there, and we will see you guys later.